Everyone, if this is your first office hours, thank you for joining us. If you been on before, then brilliant. Welcome back. You have myself and Kevin. My name's David. I'm going to be sort of hosting this. Well, with Kevin, actually. Kevin's going to probably answer the techie questions as well and bits that he knows, how to do. That's generally the flow of how these work. We have all the questions planned. We'll go through them on the slides and hopefully we'll get through to the end. If you have other ones, you can ask those in the chat box as well. So you've probably seen us around our Facebook group or dealt with us for support or something like that. Either way, so you might have seen us around or on the blog and various ways of content and things. And we've both been using OptimizePress since version 1. So you're in safe hands on all the technical stuff that we're doing. Typically how it works as well, if some other questions come up that are not related to OptimizePress, like marketing stuff, or you want some ideas, then me and Kev generally have workarounds that we know how to implement for different strategies or to get things working. So if there's something, there's not often something you can't do, but usually there's a workaround for it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Just some house rules. If you give us your attention, turn off your phones for a bit, it will be brilliant. Stay off social media. Just give us your time for an hour. That would be much appreciated. You'll get the best out of this session then if you actually listening, because you might have a question that you wanted to ask but haven't answered it, or something might come up where you suddenly go, oh right, gee, I've always wondered that, but okay, so always pay attention. There'll be something related. Hopefully you'll learn something as well if it's not a particular question you've answered. We'll answer everything that's been previously submitted. You can ask questions in the chat box as well, and we'll come to those at the end. Okay, if there's time we can get through them. If there's not time, we'll either try and answer them via email, or we'll put them onto the next session or something. We'll figure that out. If you are on desktop, this is generally what it looks like. Chat box on the right, so you can post there. You can private message us as well. And yeah, that's generally how it looks. Some of you are on mobile, that's how it is. These sessions pretty much work by us going through the questions and then sharing the screen live to answer them if we feel that showing you how to do it inside of OptimizePress or WordPress, that's usually the flow, right, Kev?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
I'm just going to turn you up because I still can't hear you very well this end. It's going to lose those AirPods. Oh, yeah, I've had them in, so I'm just going to. It's weird, the volume. Okay. Anyway, let's carry on. Yeah, so I've got all the slides. So we generally switch between both monitors and stuff. So if this is your first office hours, you'll get the feel as we go. If you have questions, if you see your question, you get to it, you can drop off, or you can watch the replays later on as well. We have a lot of questions anyway to go through. So Kev, you've got them all, but I'll read them out as usual, and then we'll see if it requires switching screens. We can switch over to mine, and you can share your screen as well. So actually, this is actually not a question. This was a question that I was copying off from the last one. So let's get rid of that. First one in. On the one-page membership training, fantastic, by the way, how was Dave able to pass the registrant's name from the login onto the login page from Lee? I don't know if Lee's in the room. I think that was from James, right, Kev? That's James' train, not mine, because I've just done a new one. But I think that's the one-page membership is, or was that from the webinar? Maybe he means from the webinar. I'm guessing it could be from the webinar we've got.
It's possible. I think James did the actual course, and I think you had a webinar on the same subject. Yeah, do you want to
do this? Do you want to, or do you want, I don't mind, like with the login code? I think I pulled the login code using the database element from the page, right?
Yeah, the one in the one-page membership training would be totally different, but if you're using Optimize Mentor, we have the dynamic text option now, which you just highlight some text in a text element. You can actually
that's how we done it in that course, right?
The membership
I
name.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll switch over my screen. I can show them from here. So I guess that's what it was. Did we use? I'm pretty sure in that webinar I went through and added it on a page. So you can tell me if I'm going wrong when I do this, Kev. I will let this load up. Yeah, I think I used the database element, right? So I open up the page. I'd probably be able to jump into my course. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think it has to be on
That's right.
like a course page.
So maybe it was on, unless it was on the welcome homepage, but it has to be on a course page if I'm using the element, wasn't it? So let's go to.
Yeah, you could just try the course homepage so we
Let's
can
go
show them
and
how to
open up
do
the
that.
builder. Switch back. And that was from Lee. I don't know if Lee's in the room. I haven't flipped through. We'll see if he is here. Yeah, so people who post questions in the chat will mark those as questions, or Kev has actually probably already marked those as questions, and then we'll answer them. And so, like Morgana has answered one there as well. So yeah, we'll come to your questions. Oh yeah, okay. Someone's okay. Yeah, see, David's got a similar question to Morgana's as well. Okay, brilliant. So I think it was in this one. Let's go into a pay. Let's add. Pretty sure I probably had the text element in here. Let's go. So let's drop in. I'm just going to use a paragraph. I'll just throw it at the top here somewhere. So with the course pages, everyone, if you're using Optimize Mentor courses for your courses, you can call in certain elements from the course page, like description and name and things like that. So I think I'd have put something like hello, like so.
What I usually do is I just put like hello name and then I highlight the word name and then do the dynamic text that way.
Actually, what I'll try and do is zoom into this because it might not be easier to see. So we just double click and highlight this when it wants to let me highlight. Here we go. Clicking on this little field here, and you can see it's asking for WordPress. I think we chose probably Optimize Mentor and then no, it would have been WordPress name, right? So WordPress post author current username. That's what you do.
Current username.
And you can see my current.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't actually show the username unless you have no other. Like you have to have the first name and last name of the person actually in the membership. So otherwise, it'll just pull whatever data is there. Like in this case, it was the
so
email
we
address.
Can also pull in things like course descriptions, lesson descriptions, stuff like that, can't we? So if everyone's all there, all you do, you've got to make sure on a course page, you're highlighting whatever it is. You can see as I highlight this now, this icon is blue because that's a database or a database icon typically used across the web. Click on that. You've got all these different options. You can choose date and time, Optimize Mentor. If you've got different settings in Optimize Mentor, like all this stuff. So it means you can dynamically pull those onto your pages and you haven't got to keep updating them forever and ever. You just update them once inside of the course area where I'll show you in a second. So if I just go out of this page, let's leave it as current username. Let's save that and come out. And then we'd dynamically pull stuff into that using that feature by highlighting, and it'll pull through things like this. So title, summary, and then you have descriptions like on these lesson pages here. So I think what in that was the one-page webinar, wasn't it, Kev? It's got to be.
Yeah, I think it was. It actually might have been that we just used a short code. It might. I don't know exactly when that one was done. But if we were using something like the restrict user access plugin, which is another membership plugin that we were recommending prior to releasing Mentor, there was some short codes that you could install on the page in a similar manner.
That's it. So I think I didn't use a short code. Well, I need a short code plugin, I guess, if I'm doing it off a page. Yeah, let's okay, so there you go, Lee. There's your first one done. Elizabeth, I have both versions of OptimizePress. I love the new version with the very impressive templates. However, what I'm missing from the older version is the ability to put my own page together with ease. I cannot figure out how to do the same thing with the new version. Can you show us how to do that if it's at all possible? Yeah, we probably actually, I've obviously, with all the questions that come in, I just put them into here and I keep going through them and going, okay, well, let's put them all in. With this one, it's a hard one to answer because we really need to see the page, Elizabeth, that you've got. And we didn't get a page submitted with that one.
I think what she might be referring to is the blank template, because she said she wants to put her own page together. So if you go to OptimizePress and create new page, and then you click on, I believe, templates. One of the first options there are the blank templates.
It's amazing how we read questions differently. There you go. So we've got blank and then blank header and footer. I don't know if Elizabeth is on here. Let me just have a look. She might be on. So yeah, blank. If to make your own is blank, then you start from scratch. I think we did have that. We had a blank one in OP2, didn't we, as well? OptimizePress 2.
Yeah, and we had templates there also. So I'm kind of guessing that's what maybe she just couldn't find where that was.
So Elizabeth, that's it. Blank header and footer. Sorry, header and footer means it uses your theme header and footer. So you can bring in your same header and footer of your theme. That's what that one does. This one is just a blank template on its own. This is the one that doesn't pull in all the WordPress scripts and everything. It's completely free of all the junk code in WordPress, and that's why you use this one if you want really fast pages. As soon as you use this one, you're pulling in your theme's header, so it has all the scripts and anything else, all the plugins and stuff that are loading by default in that theme. You can switch these as well when you're live inside a template. So you can go to page settings and you can choose to switch them between the normal one and the header and footer. If you're using one, like you've designed a page, you can turn the header and footer on at any time as well. Okay, nice one. There you go, Elizabeth. She's not in the room anyway. Is it possible to make a parallax background image effect in OP3 from Tina? I did see Tina in the room. We haven't got that yet, have we, Kev?
We do have the
we've got the video.
The fixed backgrounds. It works. It's kind of like a parallax, but a parallax is where the image actually scrolls at a different speed than you're scrolling a page. I would like to see that actually. That's a good idea. I just haven't really thought about that.
It's not.
I think we.
Yeah, I've not seen it used as much now recently on web pages. It was a big thing at first as a design thing. I mean, I know some sites do use it a lot, but
yeah. Honestly, what I would love to see is when you scroll down the page, the image scrolls from left to right. I think that'd be awesome.
Hack somewhere there, but so what did you say?
Oh yeah, I don't want to ask our developer for too many crazy things. They might want to bonk me over the head.
Why do you need that?
Like, why do you want that?
Sorry, what did you say before that? You said something. Oops, excuse me. I've got videos playing on that one. Let's kill that. Let's go back to another one.
Yeah, that's a bug we're fixing.
Yeah, that's my video. I've done a lot of video tests on that page, so I'll turn that one off. I think the developers wanted to kill me for that because I had like 8 different videos that triggered, and yeah, I love bug testing. Okay, so you said something about video background. Sorry.
Oh, video backgrounds. Those we can already do those. I was saying like. With an image, if you scroll down, I'd like to see a parallax effect where it would like scroll, like left to right instead of up and down.
So
that'd be kind of cool.
We don't have that yet, Tina, the parallax background, but when you're in a section, and I'm creating a headline there. Let me just go to a section. I was trying to get a section ready. This whole page is a section. Yeah, but in here you can set like your images. You can, change different layouts for the image, like for example, let's just put one in. Let's just put that house in. So you've got things like attachments. You've got a scroll and a fixed. The scroll that just goes with it, and the fixed does just fix it. So if we do fix, but that fixes it in place. So you could have, you can add some effects, but it doesn't do parallax where it slowly scrolls. Not yet, but. Yes, there's probably some CSS scripts you could get, but you're going to get really technical with that one. So did we not have it in OP2, Kev? I thought we had a parallax effect added in OP2. That
we did have some small effect for that. I don't think it was really truly a parallax. It just depends on how you looked at it, but I think we should be able to add those in OP3.
We've got video there, so you can put video and do video backgrounds from all your different video services, and you can overlay on the video and stuff. But no parallax, Tina, yet. But we will mention it to we'll put it on the feature list. I'm sure it's probably on the feature list anyway. let's crack on. Let's see what we got. Was wondering how to add member's name at login on the welcome headline. I've already answered that one, right? As demonstrated. Oh no. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
demonstrated
it's
by
the
David,
same
the
question.
one-page funnels example. So was that the same question from? Oh yeah. No. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Julian, I saw Julian in the room. Does OptimizePress 3 theme with membership site templates require any additional plugin to work as a membership site? If so, what's the recommended membership site plugin? So Julian, we have Optimize Mentor, which allows you to build your membership sites, which is part of our OptimizePress suite. So that's how we build membership sites now. That's actually what I was just in here. So obviously there are plugins. We had our older version of Optimize Member, it was called, which is our membership site plugin. But we've rebuilt that entire plugin to work with the latest version of OptimizePress, and that is now using Optimize Mentor, which is this platform here. So it's all your memberships. You can have unlimited memberships and courses. You can, protect all the other content on your blog with Optimize Mentor. It doesn't necessarily have to be a course. So you can protect content on your site. This also integrates with OptimizeCheckouts. So you can then take payments for your memberships or your courses. So that's to answer that question, Julian. This is Optimize Mentor. If you go to our main site, I'm not sure if our latest demo video is going to be up soon, but you'll see a little walkthrough and stuff. We've got some webinars as well. If you want a bit more info on it, Julian, we can go into that. So to answer that one, that's what we're going to be using, Optimize Mentor. If you're not using Optimize Mentor, plugin, Kev, recommended? Favorite plugin?
I like Wishlist Member plugin myself. It's a pretty good one. And then you have Memberium, which is pretty good. You could use ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft with that one. Beyond that, I've tried a lot of different other membership plugins, and most of them just tend to either fall short of features or they're too complex. So I like to stick with the easy ones. And right now, for me, I think Mentor is definitely at the top of my list because obviously I have to know the ins and outs of it, and we made it really easy compared to the old membership plugin we had in OP2.
Certainly have. It's got a lot of features. There's actually a few more questions coming up about Optimize Mentor, so can dig into that a bit more. How to make a menu in header? I think that was meant to be editor. I'm not sure if something's auto-corrected. I think it was Ubavka. I think that's the name's correctly pronounced.
Yeah, I think
menu and header. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, header. I was thinking, is it editor re-edited or? It seems not possible at the moment. Yes, so we can do headers and our menus. We've got menu. As long as you've built your menu here inside of WordPress, so you need to have your menu already set. So that is done inside of appearances here, and then you have menus, and you create a menu first. Usually make it off your pages. Like your main pages, you can see like home, contact, about us, and give it a name. This one's actually called funnel. So that one for this is actually called, funnel for this menu. So I'll go and select that. You can choose different menus here if you have multiple ones as well. So you have to make the menu first before you can use it inside of our editor. Look, here's menu one, and let's go to templates. You can have as many menus as you like. So you can then use these across different pages. So to see what that one's templates. Okay, so you've got one there. Let's then go to all pages. Let's bring up a page, and then we'll add the menu into it.
Yeah, real quick too. If any of you go to the appearance area in WordPress and do not see a menu item, it would mean that you're using one of the newer themes that WordPress came out with since WordPress 5.9, I believe, where they have a full site editing option. So all of your menus and widgets would be through the block editor, which is a little bit confusing.
I discovered that.
So check your themes. If you don't have the smart theme, make sure you don't have like the 2023 or the 2022 theme, I think, because those I think have the full site editing, which will change how that works. I just switched it
to an older theme to get it back. So if it disappears, I think I put on 2021 theme, the default WordPress one.
Yeah.
But that was really confusing when I figured that out. I was like, hang on, where's it gone? And it took me a while. That's a great point to bring up, Kev. Yeah, so people, if you're missing the menu options and appearances, you've got a newer theme, which is WordPress is pushing everyone into the block editor mode. Let's type menus in here. So we've got WP and we've got list menus. So you've got different types. Let's just drag them both in here. So this, let's just say this was a header of my page. It's just a 2-row column at the moment. Probably doesn't help that I've got a purple background on it. Let's just change the color for that. Yes, we've got 2 menu types. We've got a list one and we've got the, let's just do this. I'll change the spacing in a sec. I'm just going to bring the other menu in.
Yeah, list menus are awesome to use for like a footer section, for example, and then the WP menu element. I usually use that.
So probably to answer that. So this is the list one on the left, which we'd probably recommend to go in like your footers and stuff. And then if you want to have, I'm just going to make some more padding around this. If you click that chain in the middle there, by the way, it locks all the menu, press enter, and it just adds all the padding around all of the rows. That works for sections and rows as well. Yeah, so look, here's your menus. You can see this one here. So if I actually click over here onto this menu and then actually choose on the breadcrumb WP menu, that's how I use the editor. You can click up this little up arrow here. But inside here, we click on this and then look, you can choose those menus. So you just saw those menus inside appearances. You can choose them from this option here and then they appear. And then you can go into them and start styling them even more, like colors and fonts and letter spacing and everything like that. So you can click on the actual item itself and then you can drill down and start styling how your menu is going to look with your options. And if you're using headers like this, you might also want to make it a global header. So using sections, actually drop in a section on your page and then turn the entire section into a global header. Means you can then save it and then use it on other pages, and you only have to edit it once because it's using the global option. Let me just drop that in there like that. Let's say this row is up there as well. My editor always runs slow when I have Vimeo running. So I think there's any webinar. I tested another one the other day. Whenever I've got Zoom running, it's really slow as well. It's nothing to do with OptimizePress. It's just I think the editor and the screen recording is always trying to catch up. So look, inside here, I just want to show, if you right click, then you can say mark this element as global. So that means you can then use that header across all of your pages, right? So we've got stuff in the support desk that tells you how to use the global elements. So to answer that question from Bavka, there you go. So you can use your menus like that. Make your menu first, add it into your header. I would use a global header if you're building that, because then the beauty of these global features is you can use them on any page. You can go and up here, they save in this little option here, globals. So these are all globals that you can save. You can then drag those onto any page. And then when you edit it, it applies the changes across all of your pages that are using that global element. So it's a great time saver. Let's move on. I want to use OptimizePress with a WordPress site. Do I need to use the block editor in WordPress, or can I use the classic WordPress editor, Stan? Kev, I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah, you could use either one of them, but to build a page with OptimizePress, you would obviously use the OptimizePress editor. But for regular WordPress pages and like blog posts and stuff, you could use the classic editor or you can use the block editor. It's really your choice what you want to do with that. Even with the smart theme, you could use the block editor or the classic editor. You just have to install the classic editor plugin for that. So we don't really limit anything
if he's
like that.
thinking of using the WordPress editor inside of a WordPress block editor page, that's not possible. So remember, WordPress pages are standalone, so you wouldn't go and edit your WordPress page and then try and use elements inside that WordPress block page. I think with the whole new block thing coming out with WordPress, it's probably just more messaging to try and for us to help people understand that they're two sort of separate pages, right?
Yeah.
So I've got stands twice there. Let's go. Okay, so this is from Robin. There's quite a lot of questions here. I just put them all in rather than breaking them into multiple slides. Some of them can be answered quite quickly and they're course related. Some of these are probably a bit too technical for a lot of people as well. I'll answer some, Kev, and then there's probably a couple that you answer here. So I want to set up drip content for my courses. I want to send out multiple lessons each week. Brilliant. The amount of lessons each week changes. Okay, that's no problem. Can we schedule chapters to drip? That's one question. If there's not another way, how do we do it? Okay, what are chapters used for? We can look at that. I want to drip 3 weeks and skip the 4th. So I was thinking how you could do that. Actually, a workaround for that, Kev. But so I was going to answer the first one. Well, what are chapters? Chapters are really actually more of a content way to divide up your courses. They're not really anything that's seen in the course. They're not like part of like a lesson or a module. They're just really a way for you behind the scenes to administer and understand all the different content you've got in your course. So the chapters can't be used in any way like that. So look, add chapter, and let's just put it around the beginner's one here and just call it chapter 1, like so. And it's really just a sort of an admin way. So it's for Stan. I'm not sure if Stan's on. I haven't looked. So yeah, that's that one. That's what chapters are for. I want to send out multiple lessons. The amount of lessons each week changes. Can we schedule chapters? So you can't schedule chapters in with dripping content because they're not really like they're not a page. So that first 3, that's that one answered. I want to drip 3 weeks and then skip a 4th. Now, Kev, this isn't possible, right? But you could probably just delay it by another 7 days, I guess. That's how I thought of that one.
You could just use the in the drip schedule, you'll just use custom intervals for dripping. So with that, you can choose how many days each page would drip.
I'm not going to go into this one because it's so technical. I think it actually probably deserves a webinar on its own because it's can really confuse people if they start trying to mess with drip and I'm not understanding fully.
Yeah. So right there on that screen, that is where where it says select a release type. I think it would just be custom custom intervals. And then when you do that, you just you'll see the whole list of lessons.
So you have to choose a membership.
And oh yes.
And then you can.
Yep. And then you can just click on the gear icon next to each lesson and say how many days. So in a week where you have more than, or a month where you have more than 3 lessons or whatever, you could just drip multiple lessons for the same interval. And then on chapters or weeks or months that you have less than like a round number, you could essentially.
So they said like I want to drip 3 weeks, then skip the 4th week. So say if this was 7 days and then this was another 7 days, so these unlock 7 days after the previous one. So drip, you choose the drip days. So then if they wanted to, they just have to skip it like another 14 days, I guess, because that would be then a week skipped and then it'd open on the next week. That's all. Yeah, so that would make sense using the custom drip option for that.
Yeah. I helped a client of mine build something like that where every month they had 3 lessons and on the 4th week there wasn't anything. So we just went and did the custom intervals on those, if I recall correctly. And then because it didn't make much sense to just have a blank lesson and say, oh, this.
So you've answered the next one because Stan said does need a placeholder to say there's nothing this week. So you could if you wanted to, Stan, but if you just delay it. In some case, I don't know, in some cases it actually would make sense to put a placeholder. You could say lesson, pause, do your homework kind of thing, because if people are getting a lesson every week and then suddenly they don't, they might be like, is this broken? And you probably get a lot of support questions. So if you have thousands of customers on your membership site, you will get a lot of emails because people are like, why is there nothing this week? So unless if they don't know that's the schedule. Yeah,
we're working on a module and lesson list element. I think it'll actually have an option to show
like the date of the next
when
release,
the next lesson's gonna come. Yeah, I don't know if it'll show the date,
Yeah,
but it'd be
something to say it's coming
like
in
that, I
next.
think.
Yeah, some kind of day indication. He's asked as well. Robin's asked as well. Did I say it did Stan before? I think. Anyway, if my checkout my course doesn't work, is there a list to check to see if I do all the basic steps? There's a couple of videos, Robin, that we have in the knowledge base. I would go through those, and we don't actually have a checklist as such. We have test credit cards numbers that you can use. If your checkout's not working and someone's not getting added to the course, then it's possibly like you haven't got the rule set up inside of OptimizeCheckouts. That's all I can think it can be. Care for that.
Yeah, you just want to do a lot of testing and then make sure it's working. And if you have any problems, we'd be happy to help and support.
So I will
just let us know it's in test mode, and we can zip through it and see, probably within a few minutes.
So
what the problem
Robin,
is.
if you're watching this is the what you need to do is set up integration rules as well for your checkout products. You have to add the membership as a product inside of OptimizeCheckouts, and then you have to create a rule here which says once it's successful, I want to add them to Optimize Mentor, and then from here you then say grant access, and then you choose whatever the membership is called. So you have to add the integration. You have to tell the product inside of OptimizeCheckouts to grant access to the membership after payment, because this bit, OptimizeCheckouts deals with all the financial stuff like integrating with the payment gateway, and that's you then, once the payment's confirmed, that pings the user into Optimize Mentor. That's if something's not working, that's probably what it is. But we have loads of videos on that, so jump over to our help desk or drop us an email. This is from Swapnil. It says how to configure the Indian payment gateway with UPI payment option. We don't yet integrate with that payment gateway, Swapnil. I'm not sure if you're on here actually, but we don't yet. We've had a few requests, probably not enough yet, but I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Kev?
I know we've got a lot of requests for so many different payment systems for like India and Brazil and Netherlands and stuff, where I think they want to take bank drafts or something, which I have no idea how that would even work with, like one-click upsell features. And I think our developers are looking into, what would be required for that. So it's probably gonna take a little while to do that, because there's a lot of other things that we're doing with the checkouts plugin right now that would need to be done before that could happen.
The payment gateway stuff is quite complex, and then there's more and more coming out. Yeah, there's so many coming out now.
Very much so.
Crazy. Okay, Leanne has asked, is there a specific plugin you would recommend to display an Instagram feed that works best with OptimizePress? I've tried Smash Balloon, Feed Them Social, Easy Social Feed, but they're just not displaying properly. I'm adding the coding to HTML element, but I can't get it to work. I don't know of any plugins, but
I don't know of any plugins, but those should work.
Right?
Probably what she's not doing is enabling the styles and scripts for the plugin, because that would definitely make it not show up correctly.
Kev is on these webinars. So I always forget this one. This is quite important. What Kev just said is enabling the plugins and styles for your plugin. So when I said earlier about the blank templates and the blank template that we use for OptimizePress pages, it just removes all the rubbish stuff that's on all the plugins and tries to put itself in the header of your pages, and that slows down your page. So the OptimizePress one takes all that. It doesn't let it load in the header, but you can let it load by saying to it, I want to load this plugin. So Leanne, those plugins that you're testing, make sure you come into settings. I'm in the OptimizePress dashboard settings, scripts and styles, and then from here you can choose which plugins you want to run on the front end and the back end of your OptimizePress site. So back end would be inside the editor, and then front end would actually be for your customers and visitors to see. So yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with those plugins. I haven't tested any social ones. So what Kev just said exactly to do is this. You have to come in here, you'll see the list of plugins. I don't know if you've got a test site. If I haven't got one that's got loads of plugins on it, but JS is JavaScript, so you turn that on, and then CSS is so it's for the styling. So Leanne, definitely do this first, and this applies to any of you on this webinar. If you've got plugins that aren't working, you can then come in here and say to them, I want you to work on my OptimizePress pages, and you just tick them from this list, and it will then run. So if you have a plugin installed, you'll see it in this list here. Great one, Kev.
Yeah, nine times out
that's
of
usually
10, that'll solve it.
I did think of that earlier when I was talking about the blank templates, and I didn't want to confuse people by then coming onto that topic. But that's and usually the first plugin should. Well, I don't know any of those plugins, and also the HTML is what I was going to show people. You can embed stuff using the HTML element, so you can just go into here, custom HTML, drop that onto your page, and then you can just embed HTML code. I guess that Leanne was pasting in the embed script from Instagram, which you put in there. So that was that one. Let's crack on. From Sudip says, how to use the opt-in form so that authentic leads can submit their details, because in my opt-in form, if I want leads phone number, then some non-serious leads only submit single number. So it sounds like you need the validation check here, right? Or single number left blank, which I don't want to do that because every lead costs me yet. So you need a validation for this one built into the opt-in form. Do we have the validation? Can we code that in, Kev? Have we got a script that does that? Let's.
Well, the problem is that all the fields are going to be text fields, so it's a little hard to validate a text field to.
What about if you build a custom field inside of your list? So say like, if we had a custom field inside of our service, would that then, if we set the custom field to a number value, and you'd have to limit the number of characters, I guess, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think there's a JavaScript that can be used for that. I don't have that in front of me.
Yeah, so we don't have.
But I think there is something to set the character limit, and you can set that as the phone number. But then how are you going to stop people from typing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I mean, it's, if they don't want to give you the phone number, they're not going to give it to you, whether you try to force them to or not. Even if we had a true phone number field, there's no way to really validate that the phone number actually exists.
You've got to validate the country code, haven't you?
There's no database that any. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's not really a way to literally validate that the number is theirs and if it's valid. So it's something that, I mean, we could try to help you with a script to force a certain number of characters on that field, but beyond that, I don't think even if we had a proper phone number field, there would be any way to force somebody to put their exact phone number in there.
The only way I see around this would actually be to get a proper SMS opt-in form from your provider. So like, if they have the if your email provider offers an SMS service, get their form and embed it on your own site. So when they submit their phone number, it probably have to be separate to the email, and you can use the custom HTML one. So if your email provider has an option where you can have an SMS code and an email, and they provide the code, you could use this option here, which is custom HTML, build the form. But I would probably use it separate. I'd have a separate one for SMS for those leads, because then it forces them to, they have to confirm usually with a code that they get sent back, or they're going to get something back which adds them onto that list via SMS, like the two-step process. So that's my solution would be to use one lead capture for email, then have another lead capture for SMS numbers. That's what I've set up for people in the past. I actually looked at one.
Yeah. My take on that, I have a acquaintance of mine who has a website, and in order to get people to stop giving him fake phone numbers, they are doing a giveaway, like kind of like a raffle thing, where they they'd draw somebody's number out of a hat each month and give them like a $20 Amazon gift card or something. So, I mean, there's ways of enticing people to give their information. You just have to make the deal sweet enough for that.
Encourage them to want to give you their phone number. Some people prefer it to email. Their open rates and stuff are brilliant, but yeah, I think so. In that one, we don't do any checking. We can't validate, to a point. You can get some JavaScript to do this, but again, someone could just put, like Kev said, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever to 9, and then submit the email and get your. Don't focus too much on. I mean, obviously, if you're paying for leads, I don't know if you're paying for leads on your SMS or on your email provider, but you shouldn't be paying. You should have a set amount that you pay for on your email provider. But yeah, I wouldn't focus too much on trying to worry about that. Again, we don't know the full details. I don't know the full details or who the service is, etc. Anyway, this is from Philippe. I think he was in the room earlier. Explain a new time, the process after purchase to have access to a membership for a course online. All right. I think that's what I just answered again, actually. So I think the process after someone purchases and give them access. So it's just what I just done here, actually. Philippe, I'll go in again.
Yeah, I think some of that one got lost in translation or something.
That might have been one of the team translating. I'm not sure. Anyway, I think that's what it meant. You meant, I know Philippe's still in, but let's let this load up. So what inside of if you want to add people to a course, and you want them to sell a membership and add them to a course, Optimize Mentor comes with OptimizePress Suite. That also includes OptimizeCheckouts and funnels. Okay, so you can't use Optimize Mentor unless you've got the OptimizePress Suite, which is the checkout system you're seeing here and our funnel visualizer that we have here. So to sell a membership, you've got to add the membership as a product inside of OptimizeCheckouts, because on the sales page, you have to have a checkout page where they put in their card details to make payment. So you have to add it as a product. Let's just say this one here is called Webinar Membership. I'll go into it again. You edit the membership. You have to create a rule that adds them onto your membership plan. So integration rules and add rule. And then we want to give it a name, whatever it is, payment successful, integration service. Here you're going to choose Optimize Mentor. And this will only show if you've got it installed, obviously, on your platform, in your account. And then you can choose grant and revoke. So you'd actually have 2 rules set up. You'd have one for revoke when the payment fails. So you'd come to here and choose a payment, that subscription payment failed, or if that was for a subscription service, or you'd have payment failed wouldn't actually happen because you haven't, either payment would fail anyway because it wouldn't go through. So it's usually for subscription when you revoke access. So you'd probably have subscription payment failed here or cancelled as well. You might want to revoke access. So grant and revoke, and then choose the membership. That's it. Click add rule, gets added. And actually, I've got one up here as well that you called membership join. So that's how you add them. We have a course coming out, a new course on how to build and sell a course using Optimize Mentor and OptimizeCheckouts. So that's coming out either next week or the week after, I think, or it might be next week, but that's coming out. And then that shows this whole thing in detail, Philippe, as well. It goes a bit further than that, but what I've just shown you is in that course as well. Let's go on. Next one. So Billy says, I want to become an affiliate of OptimizePress so that I can be recommending my students to use it and get some commissions. I applied and was denied the opportunity to become an affiliate. Reason being that I'm not part of the OptimizePress community. How can you assist me? Thank you, Billy. I'm not sure if Billy was on the webinar. I think it might have come in. You have to be a customer to promote OptimizePress. I'm right in saying that, aren't I, Kev? It's still the same. So.
Oh yes, yeah. When you fill out the application, you have to use your email address that's associated with your account, and that would really be the only reason that we would really deny you, unless your email address is somehow affiliated to some kind of blacklist, or where you've done some things wrong with other affiliate programs that are on the same system or something. I'm not sure how that works exactly.
I don't know if they might flag it. But so, Billy, if you are a customer of OptimizePress, I haven't gone in and looked at your accounts. I just was copying these over and I wanted to keep this question in here rather than email you before, but I wanted to keep it in there because other people might be wondering, some people might not even know this, that you can join our affiliate program if you're a customer. So Billy, check, maybe email support, or we'll have a look afterwards, I guess, and we'll check. But if you are a customer, you've probably filled out the form and not used the same email from your customer account, and someone on the team has looked at it and then they've gone, because that's the first thing they're going to do is check your account. Are you a customer? No. Then they're going to reply and say sorry. So if that's what's happened, double check your email. If you're not a customer, then become a customer and you get all the awesome features of OptimizePress, and then you can promote it. So yeah, we've always actually had our affiliate program has only been for customers. And for you customers who are not an affiliate, then you can be an affiliate if you want, just apply. It's, we have loads of people who have big sites, and then customers ask them what sites they're using or sales, what you build your sales page with, and they recommend it. And we love our affiliates. So Billy, I think you're still on the webinar, but yes, let us know. Okay, this is from Manish. I've created multiple pages for our website and it's live. However, now we'd like to add a blog where every week we'd like to have posts submitted. I do not find any way to create a blog. I do not find any way to create a blog. I did search on the internet, YouTube, but I didn't find anything on how to create a blog with existing membership OptimizePress website. Appreciate if you can help with regards to steps to create a blog, one of the page on the existing OptimizePress website. So I think what I was going to say here, I think when he says like blog post to be submitted, I think I'm guessing published. So Manish, if you're on, yeah, you can absolutely blog alongside of on your WordPress site. OptimizePress is a plugin that you install inside of your WordPress site. So OptimizePress runs alongside any other theme that you want to install. So you can see I've got OptimizePress. We install the dashboard, and from the dashboard, you then activate all the other plugins that you're entitled to. So inside the dashboard here, we have a theme. So if you want to blog using the OptimizePress Smart theme, you'll see that appear here. You can see I've got it over here on the right. If you aren't seeing the install option, then you can install it, and then you can activate it, and it will then appear also under themes here. You got themes, appearance, then themes, and you can begin blogging from there. You can see this is activated here, and you can begin going to all posts, and you can start posting blogs. So you can start posting from here. You can also create blog, you can use OptimizePress actually as the design for your blog posts as well. So for example, I'd have to create a new one, but you can actually use, this is one here, a post. So you can actually use the OptimizePress builder in your blog post to completely style and transform how your blog posts look. So yes, by all means, you can be blogging. So I'm not sure there if Manish has got confused with maybe a template or something, or I don't know if he's logged into account and doesn't see blog posts on their website. I'm not sure that one, Kev. I'm not, unless he's not familiar with WordPress completely. And you can use any theme. You can actually install other themes in here. So for anyone who has another theme installed, you can leave that running on your blog, and then you can use OptimizePress for your landing pages, sales pages, and so on. So yes, I would like to know more about this one. I'm not sure if Manish is on, but maybe we've missed something in our onboarding. Yeah, Manish is on. So Manish, hope that helps you. Hope that answers that question. You can blog. You've just got to make sure, you've got a theme installed. You want to come to appearances here. You can either install the smart theme, which will work. You'll get this theme options menu appearing here on the left. Just go to that again, that theme options. And that is the OptimizePress theme. And yeah, you can set that up and you can start blogging through it. If you want to have your blog on the home page, you need to come into the settings and choose here what you're going to use for reading. Your main reading. You can set your main blog to be the home page, or you can have a landing page and your blog can run on another page like /blog. But yes, you can do it all from there, and then get blogging, get putting out content. Definitely want to be blogging. That's a key thing to getting an audience and building an audience for your business. So, putting out content. Let's have the next one. Let's see who's on. Carol, I have a question. On my lead funnel, it says download is on its way to your inbox now, but the download doesn't actually go to their inbox. It just opens up to an entry offer page and then a thank you page with the download. That sounds confusing. Is there a way to also have the download go to their email address? I asked Aweber how to do this, but they said just do the email campaign, which doesn't include adding the freebie PDF. Thanks, Aweber. I'm sure they didn't say that. I guess it was a bit more detailed, but so I'm not sure what's going on at the start there, Kev. Do you?
I just think she needs to look into the setup. So, Aweber, I think what they were trying to say is that they're not your web host where you would upload your lead magnet. So you could upload it to your web host and then take that link and put it in your email campaign. And then I think based on the first half of the question, there might be something not set up correctly on your opt-in form setup. So Carol, I think if to get some better help with this, we need to look into this. So if you could submit a support ticket, I think it's something that we could easily help you with.
I was just looking down here. I was just looking to the names. I can't see a Carol. Yeah, that sounds to me like if she's used a template or a funnel template, I'm guessing it's optimized funnels. She's using a template, and maybe she just hasn't configured the button on the download page. Maybe, and then some people do attach their PDFs inside of their their email list provider, like Aweber. In this case, you can attach PDFs. So
you just drop the link in the
autoresponder
email to the file you upload on the hosting, and then it should take care of that.
If you watch this back, Carol, the typical way would be if you're having double opt-in, they go into your opt-in form, they opt in. The next page it says, go and check your email and confirm your email. Once they open up their email and click on the link to confirm it, you just redirect them back to the thank you page, and on that page is a button to click the download and get the freebie. That's how I would do it. You can attach stuff in some email programs. You can actually attach files, but that gets complicated. Well, you might get flagged as spam because it's got an attachment. I'm not. It sounds like you got it sounds like there's multiple funnels going on here. Why someone would go back to an entry offer page? So probably the link somewhere in one of the funnels is linking back to an entry offer page. If you are using a funnel, let's just jump into the funnel builder. Without seeing the funnel, it's a hard one to troubleshoot. Actually,
it could be the wrong.
That's what I was thinking. It sounds like they've clicked something on the thank you page, then they go back to an entry offer, whether they've linked up the pages or something on. Yes, you might have an entry offer here, you see, which after the thank you page, this is a checkout, so not a great example, but Carol is not on it. Maybe we might be best to follow up with her on that, or follow up and find out what's going on. That's quite a complex one. Anyway, we are 9 o'clock. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions in here. I think that's all the questions slides. So brilliant questions from you all. Thank you so much who submitted them. Kev, you've answered some here. We've got 10 questions in the chat as well. I'm okay for 5 minutes if you are, and I can just see what else we've got.
Sure.
Did you answer? There's one from Ben. Ben says, can we have the option to adjust timing, optimize checkout, emails being sent out? Not sure if you answered that one. So let's have a look. Ben says, can we adjust the timing and optimize checkouts? Like when a visitor's done checking out and being presented the upsell number 1, usually we'll tell them your checkout is not done, your membership has been created, but they'd be getting their login email already. I wonder if there's something you guys can add in. Yeah, well, thank you. That's a good suggestion. We will put it into our features list. We do have do we have a features form in the knowledge base, Kev, where people can submit feature requests, or is it on the footer of the site? I can't remember where I've seen it. Or they could, for that one, do you want to put a request in for that and put it on our list? Kev, I don't know if you've done that one already.
Yeah, I can.
Nice
I
one.
can get
okay,
that
Chester says, I'm trying to figure out how to keep. I'm trying to figure out how to keep the attention of those wanting to get in shape. I'm brand new to this. Do you all also have any classes? No, maybe that's not a question for this group. I'm not sure. Have I read that wrong?
She just wants to know how to basically
Is that
have a
what it is?
course where people, I guess, pay attention to the
Just to
course
keep them.
and maybe the videos are too long. Maybe try to shorten your
Maybe she's got a
lessons
drop
a
off
little
rate. I'm
bit.
guessing the retention rate is low. Trying to figure out how to keep the attention of those wanting to
Possible,
get in
yeah.
shape. Okay, and brand new. Yeah. So if it's about the attention span of your visitors, I'm wondering if that's it, Jester. Then yeah, that could be. Your videos might be too long, or you might not have any good onboarding to get them in, and they don't actually know you well enough. And there's a lot to. I'd like to know a bit more about that one. It's a hard one to answer. I need to see the site, you see the videos, get a bit more info. Like, I've got a 10-part course with they're all 4-minute videos, etc., etc. David says, let's see, David's got one. Not sure if this is going in particular order, but 2 additional things I'd like to ask at some point. I see that I have what appears to be 2 versions of OptimizePress in my dashboard. Should I delete one? Probably not, because you've probably got OptimizePress 2 in there as well as OptimizePress. So if you're seeing 2 versions on the left here, one of them will be the older version of OptimizePress, and the newer one will be OptimizePress. The older one says OptimizePress 2, I think. So you can delete it, but make sure you rebuilt the pages, because if you've got pages on the version, the older version, and you delete it, well, the pages will actually still work. They'll work to a point that they'll still be there, but they'll have errors. So you really want to rebuild them in the latest version, and then you can delete the old version of the plugin. So that's that number 1. You were talking about member site. Is there a way to create a member site for a bricks and mortar company, more of a portal for them to submit support tickets and see the history of their projects? Yeah, you could easily do that with OptimizePress. I mean, you could have ticket systems or support tickets. I would probably still have that to go into a ticket system, some kind of help desk. But you could easily build little portals for your customers to see progress. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I've got a very, very similar case study to this for someone to build like these mini areas where people, it's actually very much similar to this. They would log in and see the status of their current project. So you could build the entire page and design it how you wanted it to look inside of OptimizePress, and then you could protect it with Optimize Mentor, and then you just issue them the password. If they don't need any payment required, you could just manually add them as a member and put them on that membership. And then when they logged in, you could create like a welcome page or like a dashboard page where they logged in, or you could actually just create every membership could have its own page that's dedicated to that particular project. So yes, that's all doable, David. I've literally been looking at exactly that for the last week and was telling someone about how to do it and what they could do, blah, blah. So yes, that's all possible. You could do it on your site. It's just protecting content and then designing a little portal area how you want it to look. And if you have, you could use sort of progress. We've got a progress element. So you could actually show like the progress bar of different things in that project timeline, what are being completed. You'd have to obviously manually update them for that user, because they're not sort of automated based off what you're doing in the task. Or if you had lessons, you could use Optimize Mentor, and it has lessons built into it, and the lessons are actually tracked on progress. But I don't know. Again, depends what your business is, your bricks and mortar business. Feel free to drop me an email if you want. I'd like to know more about that. I like that kind of stuff. Only because I've been looking at it. So if you want a hand, you can drop me an email, David at OptimizePress. There's that one. Let's go. Ben says, would Litespeed Cache clash with OptimizeCheckout by any chance? Kevin, that one's for you. I've not used Litespeed.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, you have to make sure that some of the settings are not turned on. For example, the object caching, any membership plugin, you don't want to have that turned on. And then some of the front end optimizations in Litespeed, you really don't want to use because we have those same or similar settings in under OptimizePress and optimizations, like image optimization, deferring JavaScript, and all that kind of stuff. I use Litespeed myself on all of my sites and have not noticed any
Is
issues at
Lightspeed
all
like
with the
Vanish
membership.
caching? Vanish.
I wouldn't say it's varnish caching because there's a way to
And the
turn that
server,
on
okay.
in Lightspeed, but Lightspeed it's like any other caching
Oh, is it a
plugin,
is
like
Lightspeed actually a
SiteGround's
plugin?
It's kind of
Okay,
same.
got you.
It is, yeah. But you
Yes,
have to be
yeah.
on a Lightspeed server to really get the full benefit. But you can do page and browser caching on any site with Lightspeed, even if you don't have that server. But you just have to tweak the settings. If you need any help with that, it's something that I can definitely do, either through support or I think if you're the same Ben that's been talking to me in Facebook, I think we're already going to end up working together a little bit.
Ben,
so
yeah. Yeah, pound or dollar, it's the same thing now, right? Yeah, so there you go, Ben. That one answers that. And anyone else, if you are using caching plugins, either be careful with them if you've got all these. We've got a real advanced optimization feature here, which does a lot of that kind of stuff that those caching plugins were doing, like deferring JavaScript and just like loads of stuff, delaying JavaScript and optimizing for viewport progressive. Definitely do your images. All your images can now be WebP format, which is what Google wants to see for SEO stuff. So all your images can automatically now convert to a WebP, and all your past images can get converted as well when you click on that start one, because it runs back. Depending on how big your site is, could take a couple of hours. Fonts, you can turn those on and off. Progressive images and lazy loading, lots of stuff in there. All about speeding up your site. But so if you're using caching plugins, either use the caching plugin or don't turn all the features and just use maybe like the browser caching or like the whatever. If there's a setting in it that we don't have here, then maybe use that and then just use OptimizePress. I think a lot of these things, okay, right, you should finish your site, design it, and once you're ready, come and turn them on. Like, you don't want to be...
Yeah, you don't want to mess with all that stuff when you're in the middle of designing your site, because there's some optimizations that once you make them and you go make changes to your pages, then you'll have some trouble.
Yeah,
and this is with any page builder, but you would have trouble with the changes actually showing, and then you have to go purge the cache or turn something off. But once you get the site the way you want to, that's when you want to tweak the optimization.
And actually don't just turn
settings.
them all on, because they might actually completely kill something you've tried to, I don't know. You can turn them all on, but yeah, I would turn them on one at a time and then test the speed. And some of them you might not even understand what they do and not need them. Depends on how much traffic you got get into your site, all that stuff. And when you click this link up here that says clear cache, top, it says clear OP3 cache. That also clears caching on those default plugins. I'm right in saying that, aren't I, Kev? It forces the other plugins as well to clear cache.
Yeah, anything within... It's basically a cache for the elements. So we do cache some assets and OptimizePress for those, like the styles and scripts that we generate for the page when you actually create it. So anytime you go in and you change like a color or the size of some text or the font face of the text, that's all stored separate in there. Each page has its own set of JavaScript and styles, and then we cache those files. So whenever you clear that cache, it deletes those files that are cached, and then the next time somebody visits the page, it'll regenerate those files. So it doesn't work the same way as like page or browser caching does in that sense. So you would still need to have a cache for that, but all these other optimization settings, you definitely don't want to duplicate those with other caching plugins, because that would just cause more problems.
In support. Caching problem headaches. There you go, Ben. There you go. Get your caching running. Craig says, this is how we got, there's three more, so we might as well answer them here. Craig says, for blank template, is it best to create a global footer and header to use across your site? Sorry, I'll answer that. Yeah, so is it best? I don't think there's a right or wrong or best or worst. It just depends really on if you're creating if you have a global header and you have a global footer, it just depends on how many pages you've got. for me personally, if I had a big site and I was using a blog theme, I would just use that as the header and footer, because as you start adding more and more content, you've got to duplicate that page, and there's no, if you're using lots of OptimizePress pages, then it's probably, it's really easy to have a global footer and a header. It just really, some of your pages you might not want to use it on. That's the benefit of it. You can actually just take it off and have a minimal header, or even not have any navigation because it's a landing page. So definitely, I would probably build one, Craig, for your main site, because you can build actually multiple ones. You might have a different style that you have on another set of pages, or a different footer. Try and keep consistent across your pages, whatever you do. But some of your pages just won't need them. But it's a really cool time-saving feature. You think of all the other ways you can use it as well, like webinar offers. You can then drop those on pages, which you change once, and it then appears across all of your pages. Like if you have content-rich pages and you have that built with OptimizePress, and there's lots of uses for it. But yes, on the blank template, you could go ahead. It all really depends on the size of your site and all that kind of stuff. Robin says, what video settings do we use in Vimeo? Do you use Vimeo, Kev? We've got it here. I've got it open, actually.
I do. We use Vimeo at OptimizePress also, but basically you want to turn off the public access to your videos on Vimeo. And then we typically use the domain permissions there, where you add a domain name to the Vimeo account, and that allows you to embed your videos on your sites. And that's the only place where anybody could access the video, basically. So then if you're protecting those pages with your membership plugin, then the only way they would access that is if they are part of your
there's
membership.
actually, I'm just looking at a video now. We don't have any specific settings for Vimeo. All we do actually have is, because I think all their videos are web ready, Robin. So they're all for that format. We just turn off things like the social icons and the links and the author, and we just have quite a minimal player on all of our videos actually that we use. So we have some, you can set profiles, but there's definitely not like a specific web setting you have for web page, because all their videos are actually optimized. They're MP4, so they're all optimized for web. So if you're using it, just get them in there, turn off the profiles, like all that extra stuff, social sharing and the icon and things. And I think you can customize what the player bar is like in Vimeo as well. Manish says, how to add a blog page to an existing OptimizePress website. Yeah, so that was the question we answered. So to add a blog page, you want to go into your pages here, and if you've installed a WordPress site from scratch, it will already have a blog page in it. You can see that when I've got down here, it says blog. So when you install OptimizePress, it has a blog page ready. Now, if you want that to be on the main homepage, you go to settings and reading. And in here, you say, I want to choose a static page. And then you say, I want it to be my blog. And then, the home page will be my blog. And this could be the post page. I think you just leave that off, actually, automatically. I think I'm losing my brain here. Let me get this right. Yeah, your latest. So static homepage you can set to be a blog. Yeah, you leave it like this and save. So your homepage becomes your blog. Actually, your post page becomes your blog as well. It has to be that. And then if you want a different homepage, like your landing page, let's just pick one of these. And then for your posts, you can say, use the blog. That page that I showed you, and then you click Save Changes. That then becomes, so every time you make a post over here inside of all posts, it automatically goes to wherever your /blog page is, and you can customize that. So that's how you start posting blogs to your blog page. And that page could be anything you like. You can edit it to be, articles, news, resources, whatever you want it to be. Manish, you can change that. Okay, Wayne says, last one we're going to answer, then we're done, everyone. So Wayne says, Checkouts collects data. How do we get the data out of OP into Excel? Loving these questions. Let's have a look. Checkouts. So we have different rules and integrations, right, Kevin? We also have our webhooks. So we have a few different ways to do this.
Yeah, so on each product, you could set a webhook to go to like Zapier, and then you could use that to send the data to an Excel sheet, or under OptimizePress, and I think it's called Rules Engine. You could set it to where all checkout forms would send data to a webhook or Zapier to do that as well.
I'm a bit slower than Kev here. I'm trying to click through. Let's see if we can open that one while that's loading. Let's just go to Rules Engine. So the OptimizePress Rules Engine. I'll open that one in a new tab. So yeah, for here, you need to obviously have Zapier connected first. So you actually have to do that inside of integrations at the top. And then you would create a rule here, and then you actually have to use the webhook option, which you get your webhook once you create a webhook zap. So you start in Zapier and create a webhook, and then it gives you a webhook URL, and you use that. And then from Zapier, you connect it to Excel or Google Sheets, and then you tell it which sheet and where it's going. So you first have to add it inside of integrations in OptimizePress integration. So there you want to add Zapier. And then the second way Kev just said was the rules engine. Let me just let this load. There you go, integrations here. So you add new integration, search for Zapier, and then add it. I've already got it in. It's down here.
Yeah, it was Google Sheets I was thinking about, not Excel, but it's basically the same thing. And you can actually go into Google Sheets and export it, I think, as an Excel document occasionally.
I don't know why I've not got Zapier. Okay, so Zapier is just default. It's not actually an integration. You don't add it. It's just there. So ignore what I just said. Sorry.
You just get the webhook URL from the Zap and put that in there. That's really all you have to do.
Apologies. Don't add it in integrations. It doesn't exist. It's just it's built in. It exists. We don't have to add it. Yeah, this is the rules engine here, which is a bit more technical. We've got a knowledge base article on this. You create a rule name. What kind of events do you want to have triggered? So things like checkouts, you can see all this kind of stuff. If you just want to keep it simple, choose all and it will fire all that stuff over. We have a knowledge base article. I think there's a video on this as well, possibly in our knowledge base, that tells you all these different options. But that's how you do it, Wayne. So you can fire all this stuff into an Excel, Google Sheet. Probably best to fire into Google Sheet and then export it. Or Zapier will connect with Microsoft Online, Microsoft Office Online. Yeah, you need a webhook, and then you choose post type because you're posting, and then you put in the URL here. So this is probably this works for everything. So this might be an easier way to do it, Wayne. We have a knowledge base article on that because I remember writing some of the stuff about it, I think.
Yeah. One other thing that I've used recently to do something similar, and it's not really a plugin of ours, but there's a plugin called Bit Integrations, and you could do like a webhook in there, so it'll capture information in the same way that Zapier would, and then you could link that to a Google Sheet. But it's not nearly as advanced as Zapier. But if you're looking for a way to do that without paying Zapier a barrel full of money every month, then that might be a one to look into. Yeah, there's a free plugin they let you do for the free one, I think.
There you go.
One webhook. So you could just drop that into the rules engine, let it get the data, and then you can choose where to send that data to. It's just a one-way integration. So you don't have multiple steps like Zapier could do, but if you just want to get it in Google Sheets, I think they have an integration for that in there.
It's good to know. That's why it's so valuable having you on here, Kev, you see.
Yeah, I know a couple things,
Everyone, that is it. We are done, I think. Brilliant session. Gone on a bit longer than that extra 5 minutes, like I said. I think that's it, Kev. We've gone through those. Thank you, everyone who'd submitted questions, and thanks to everyone who's still on. There's still heaps of you on here who are still on listening, and everyone who's asked a question, thank you. Everyone who's attended, thank you. Appreciate it. It's like early morning for some of you and really late at night. But that's brilliant. Kev, thank you as well so much. Awesome session. Always a pleasure having you on and good to chat with you. Maybe we should get some people talking on here soon, maybe in the new year, or we'll get people can just answer them live. And I think we end up having so many questions to go through. We don't ever have a chance to get anyone on. So maybe we'll try a session where we just don't list all the questions out, and we get people on who want to talk and we just ask the question. Maybe we'll have to try that. We'll have to do some tests, right? We'll have to do some internal tests first. Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll leave it there. Kev, I'll catch you soon, I'm sure. We'll chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate, whatever you're doing.
All right.
And we'll go from here.
You
Thank
too.
you, everyone. We will leave it. We'll get the replay. I'll put the replay on YouTube. We'll get this edited and up there so you can actually go back, and we'll post in the group when it goes live on YouTube so you can see all the questions and watch the replays, and usually link the timestamps in the YouTube description so you can jump to any of those questions that we've been asked. Thanks, everyone. We are going to be, we're done. We're out of here. Cheers, Kev. Goodbye, everyone, or good night, good day. Speak to you soon.